Hello, 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 fellow miscreants, fellow, you know, broken toys, fellow psychopathic people on the internet, and welcome, you know, to the darkness once again. I'm going to reveal you guys just a little something that you need to know. I'm going to tell you guys a little something. Well, I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to let you guys know who I really am and what I'm really about. Okay? And just the guys to let you know, look, I'm just an entertainer. Just like you guys. You guys are listeners. I'm an entertainer. You know, I love to mimic voices. I love to imitate personalities. That's just the thing that I like to do. You know, you know, I've always liked, you know, I've always liked Keith Ledger. Always have. You know, I liked his style. I liked the way he played the Joker. You know, it was fun. It really was. And I didn't mind, you know, kind of trying to mirror his character a little bit, you know, as an entertainer. You know, I've been doing this for a while now, and I kind of like it, you know. I've kind of, come on, baby. You know, I've kind of, what do you call it? Morphed my own little character, my own little place here, you know. And, you know, it's it's not that bad, really, you know. And I'm actually going to do a face reveal for you to let you guys know who I am. So, here we go. This is me, guys. And I'm an entertainer, you know. I love to entertain. I love to create characters. You know, it it helps with my multiple personality disorder thing that I have. You know, it helps me with that. And you know, it's just, to me, it's just fun. You know, bottom line, that's all it is. It's just fun. You know, I really don't have any random purpose. You know, I just do it. And sometimes I mimic other characters on here, characters of my own design, of my own way of thinking and stuff. And you know, basically, you know, I just go with whatever pops into my brain. You know, whatever idea goes through it, I just randomly do it. You know, it's not really my intention, but it just, I, I don't really, it just kind of like blossoms in a way. You know, it just blossoms out to be that way. No, it's not a bad thing. It's just, Hey, what's up? Don't know who you are, but what's up? But, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not the real Keith Ledger or the real whatever you guys think I am. I'm just an entertainer, you know, just a normal person on the internet, just like everybody else. Yes, I have multiple channels, and I have them for a reason because, like I said, I suffer from multiple personality disorder. And it kind of helps, you know, with that, like a different channel for every single personality, you know what I mean? That way, if I feel in a certain way, you know what I mean? It's just, that's just the way I feel, you know? It's crazy. Really is, you know? So, but yeah, guys, I'm not, you know, the real whatever I portray on here. I'm just a simple entertainer, just like you guys, and I've got multiple voices, multiple personalities, and I use them whenever the mood fits me, Um, I don't really know the secret of getting more views. All you have to do is just be you, be who you are, and just let things happen naturally, let things happen organically, you know. Not everybody's perfect. Not everybody's, completely cut out for streaming or talking on the internet. It's not that easy for a lot of people. I know it isn't. It's hard as hell because, you know, it took me, yeah, but it took me a long time to basically even start live streaming on the internet. It took me a long time to do that because, to tell you the truth, when I first started live streaming on the internet, I was very nervous. I was extremely nervous. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. Um, I didn't know, you know, exactly what specific content to put on it. I didn't know. I was clueless. And I just decided to form a few channels randomly in my own brain. And next thing you know, I brought them to life, which is not a bad thing. And so here I am now. I actually, I took off my mask, guys, and now you guys know who the person is that is behind the voice when you listen to me from now on. It's just this guy. You know, I'm just a normal person, just like you. I've got normal, you know, normal life, normal problems, just like everybody else. but I love to entertain. I love to do things, This is my this is actually it's not a real like job. It's more like a hobby to me. And yes, I've got a microphone that I'm plugging in. But it's a good one. I think it's a good one. Because, well, I could, if you want to listen to it. I mean, I could talk a little bit about my life. Um, I'm 51 years old. About, I'm 50 right now, about to be 51. Um, I was born in 75. Um, I've I've got two wonderful children. Um, one that was basically, what do you call it? One that he's it's hard to say. He's a stepson, but he's like my real son, you know. And no matter what, I will always call him my son, no matter what, and he'll always call me dad all the time. We've got that relationship going, and I like it. I really do. I can't tell you their names. Um, um, it's called respecting privacy. It's nothing against anybody. It's just I'd rather respectfully, you know, keep those things to myself. You know, Nothing against anybody. It's just personal preference. You can reveal stuff on the internet, but you don't have to reveal everything. Some things are best. You know, just I don't know. It's like you know when people ask, like, where you're from. I don't mind saying that. I don't mind saying that at all. But then they ask, well, what's your address? What's your phone number? Well, I can't give that out. And that's the same thing as saying, okay, what are your sons and daughters' names? Well, I can't do that because that would be violating their privacy. So therefore, I can't do that. You know what I mean? So you guys will understand when you have a family of your own, and when you love them and you're trying to do whatever you can to protect their identity and respect their privacy, then you'll understand where I'm coming from. I'm not being a dickhead, I'm not being mean or anything like that. It's just there's certain things that I prefer to reveal on the internet, and there's certain things that I keep to myself. My family, I'm very protective of my family. Um, I'm protective of my loved ones. I'm protective of people that I care about. And I would say that goes for anybody. That's anybody would do the same thing as me. They would be extremely protective of their family and their loved ones as well. Because, you know, if you had a sister or a brother or any family member, I'm sure you would not want to have their names revealed on a public platform such as this one. Because, you know, We know each other, but we all don't know each other like really, really good. You know what I mean? We're just random people on the internet that happen to come across one another and talk, you know? And I know I'm sounding kind of boring and things like that, but this is me, basically taking off the mask and showing you folks who I really am. Because, I've been getting, you know, I've been getting a lot of comments saying, oh, he's part of Anonymous and this and that, and he's a this, he's a that. I'm doing this to say, look, I'm nothing but a random entertainer. And that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And what I'm showing you on this channel is for the first time as to who I really am. I'm not anonymous. I'm not a random troll. I'm just me. Just an entertainer. I'm not a big name. I'm not a big person. I'm just, me and myself. This what you see is what you get. And I do have multiple characters I play on here, and I do have multiple channels that I have, and I have them for a reason. Because like I said, I suffer from multiple personality disorder. And no, I do not take medication for it. No, I do not go to psychoanalysts, which I should be, but I don't, because medications are too expensive, and the therapy stuff, here in Arizona, nobody seems to, yeah. But here in Arizona, as far as mental health goes, honestly, nobody seems to care about it. Nobody seems to understand what it is. I've asked for help multiple times, and they basically gave me the reach around and said, nope, we don't want to help you. We just want your money out of your pocketbook. And hey, what's up? How you doing? But it's just, for a guy like me, it's very hard for me to look for mental health and mental help when nobody really wants to help. Because in this state, it's not a really big issue. It's not. And therefore, that's why, people act insane. People do things to themselves. People, crazy shit. People do drugs. Do you see? I don't know if you guys keep up with the news, but no offense to people from Canada, okay? No offense to people from Canada. But in Canada, yeah, okay. They supposedly solved their drug problem, right? But here's what it is. they're just, they're not really solving anything. They're just making it worse by just providing the drugs that they want. Like, okay, you're doing cocaine. Okay, we'll make sure that you know that that you're doing it in a safe place, and make sure that you're not hurting yourself or hurting your other people doing it. And they give you the freedom to do it. And if you're, shooting up heroin or whatever, they'll just give you clean needles for it. You know that they're basically contributing, that's contributing to the problem, not the solution. To me, if someone's hopelessly addicted to a drug or anything like that, the best thing to do is provide avenues that are feasible to where people can seek help to solve the problem, not to make it worse or enhance it. And that's the problem with today's society. And that's just with everywhere now. People always focus on, and I understand, physical help. Thank you. God bless you too. Physical help, that's fine. We all need that. We all need that, okay? But what about the mental aspect of it? What about the mental stuff that people go through? Where's the help in that? There's not very many facilities out there. There's not very many places or avenues that people could go to. And therefore, that's why, the suicide rates are on the rise, and people doing random shit like shooting up places and crap like that. That's due to, I think that is due to poor mental health. Because they ask for help time and time again. They ask to be heard time and time again, and they get denied that. And well, if you deny a person, enough times, well, one day they're going to freak out, and one day they're going to do something stupid to themselves or to someone else. And then look what happens. Now you've got another person that's no longer here now because he or she asked for help. He or she begged for help, and nobody listened to him. And now look, now they're gone. So now, how does that feel, knowing the fact that this, that issue could have been prevented if he or she would have had the help that they needed? You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying that mainly physical help, yeah, it's physical health is one thing, but mental health is desperately needed. Desperately needed, man. Mental health is so very important. Because without a good computer here, how the fuck are you supposed to function anywhere else? And that's my my little rant or my little talk about it. Like I said, this is just mainly me revealing myself as to who I am on this channel and what I'm about. I'm just a random entertainer, nothing more, nothing less. I'm not a big bad monster. I'm not, you know, an evil person online. No, I'm not. I'm not a random troll. No, I'm not. I'm just this guy, me. And like it or not, like I said, I like to entertain. I like to, you know, play different characters online. It's what I do. It's like, remember when remember when all of us were younger and we like to play cops and robbers all the time, right? Somebody would like to be the cop, another one would be the robber, and just little things like that. We would always love to pretend that we're somewhere else or someone else, you know. Well, that's basically what I do. I like to pretend. I like to be other people. I like to be someone else. You know, it's just who I am, I'm not, I'm not a fake bake. I'm actually, you know, a real person. There is a real person that's behind this. And you're talking to him, you know. I wanted to tell you guys this because I didn't want to feel you know, like I was cheating you guys, like I was being a fake, like I was hiding behind a fake facade that, you know, that I wasn't myself. So take a good look. This is who I am. This is my life. And this is a little bit of what I do. Simple as that. You know, at least, in every channel that I've ever had, I've always been straightforward and I've always been honest with every viewer that I've ever had. I've never lied. I've never kept anything from you guys because, to be honest, I don't have to. I don't have to keep anything from you guys. That's not me. That's not who I am. I'm very, very open with my viewers. And thank you for the likes, by the way. Hopefully you can subscribe as well. But I'm very open with the viewers. And I'm very open with my audience. Yes, there are some channels that I go on that I've made where I feel kind of, preachy, kind of motivational. I do have channels like that. But when I feel like I want to be dark or a little bit mischievous or a little bit even mysterious, I come on here and I just do my stuff, do my thing. Um, as far as content goes, um, I'm going to try and really, for this year, I'm going to really start putting out some pretty decent content. Um, I just got to figure out how I'm going to do it. Right now, what I'm going to be doing is I've got a live stream room that I have, and that's normally where I hang out to do my live streams. I just haven't been doing it lately because I myself personally um, going through little bit of a situation. Tell you the truth, I've been just fucking lazy and just not been able to do it. That's all. To be honest, I just, you know, I've been lazy, been slacking, and I just, you know, haven't gotten around to do it yet. So, yeah. So, anyway, like I said, this is me doing a face reveal above the fakeness, letting you guys know that I'm not an AI, I'm not a random person, I'm not just a pre recorded voice, and I'm not part of the anonymous or any group or any sect or any cult. I'm just me, myself, and yeah, and that's it. So this is taking off my mask, revealing who I am, and that's it. So you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye then.